Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It's going to be a fun show, not just because it's April Fool's Day. I realize the date. I know that there are a lot of competing opinions on if this is a good day or not. We'll unpack some of those opinions here coming up. We're also going to talk with a couple Oregon football student athletes, a couple leaders. And Iapani Poncho Lalulu. We'll hear from the Oregon center who returned this season, as well as a key defensive player returning in Matteo Uiagalelei. That's on the agenda today, as well as Jess Drummond, someone that I will tell you, the Oregon Lacrosse head coach. I know that she loves a good prank. We have that on the horizon. Oregon baseball last night, a pitching duel that did not go Oregon's way. 3-0, Portland getting the victory. Still Oregon, a really impressive resume. We'll talk about it. It's baseball. You're going to lose games. It happens. We'll break that down. And then some schedule changes. A reminder that Oregon baseball has slid the series up by a day. It will now begin on Thursday at noon Pacific time in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and then Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time with some tough weather anticipated in Ann Arbor. The Ducks and the Wolverines are moving that series up. Ryan Milano's actually making his way out there. I was going to go, but with the schedule change, Ryan hopped on a plane with the team this morning, and he's headed out to call a 3-game series. The Ducks look for another weekend series win. Some news around acrobatics and tumbling volleyball as well. And then tomorrow, no joke here, Elite. Just keep your feeds open for the Inner Circle of Oregon Athletics, a new endeavor coming to University of Oregon Athletics, Elite. You'll see some more social media posts about that. Before we hear from Poncho, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, it's currently ongoing at Augusta National, the Women's Amateur. 2 current members of the Oregon women's golf team and 2 future Ducks are in action in the 2026 Augusta National Women's Amateur, the biggest event of the year for women's amateur golf. And the Ducks have kind of become a mainstay as a program that's represented in this elite field. Junior Kiara Romero, the number 1 ranked amateur women's golfer in the world, will make her 3rd start in the elite tournament. Romero is joined by fellow Oregon junior Karen Suru, who will make her debut in Augusta. Best of luck to the 2 current Ducks in Karen Suru and Kiara Romero, who are playing at Augusta National here today and this week. Also in action, 2 players who will join the Ducks next fall in Catherine Rayo and incoming freshman Prim, and I'm sorry that I cannot get the proper pronunciation, Pranchocorn. I think I did okay. But when she's on the show, we'll have to ask Prim to make sure. Rayo's a transfer from Princeton and will make her 2nd start, and then it's the 1st for the Ducks' incoming freshman in Prim. Play is underway now for the first of 2 rounds of stroke play at Champions Retreat Golf Course. Following the 2nd round tomorrow, the 72-player field will be cut to the top 30, which includes ties. The entire field will then play a practice round at the famous Augusta National Golf Club before the final round at Augusta on Saturday. Golf Channel has live coverage throughout today. Final round on Saturday will be live on NBC from 9 to noon, and here's hoping all 4 Ducks will be represented. Romero is considered a favorite in the field as the number 1 amateur in the world. She failed to make the cut in her first start in 2024, then shot 67 and 68 in the opening rounds in 2025 to hold a share of the lead with the then number 1 ranked golfer entering the final round. She ended in a tie for 7th, and called it some really valuable experience. She said, quote, "You think about competing at Augusta, and only the best players in the world will ever have done that, especially being in the final round, playing with the number one golfer in the world at the time. The crowd was pretty big in the first tee box." Romero said pressure was high. I was a little bit nervous, but I definitely calmed down after a few holes. That's where getting that experience can be so valuable. Kiara Romero talking about her experience so far. It probably helps in having some, well, frankly, elite fans in your corner and as your caddy. Because for the second year in a row, her sister and current Oregon assistant coach Kalia Romero will caddy for Kiara Romero at this prestigious tournament. Oregon women's golf represented well in the biggest event of the year for women's amateur golf. The number one ranked player in the world in action today. And here's hoping that your Saturday morning will be spent watching these great golfers at Augusta National. Really awesome to have Oregon represented. And I just want to, again, tip my cap to what Derek Radley and his staff have done for this Oregon women's golf team. They are recruiting at a very high level. Kiara Romero has ascended to being a true celebrity on the circuit. Very easy to root for. I'm really excited for where Oregon women's golf is and what the future is for Oregon women's golf. And again, that final round, and we'll keep you updated throughout our broadcasts on the Oregon Sports Network this week, where everything is. And to that point, with the Oregon baseball schedule change, we won't be able to do a Duck Insider tomorrow or Friday because Ryan Milano will be on the air calling some Oregon baseball from Ann Arbor when we would normally be doing the show here. I hope that we're telling you about some great performances, though, come Monday's edition of Duck Insider. And talking about great performances, Poncho Lalulu, he will actually be up on the stage at the podium tonight at our annual scholarship dinner. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with Rob Mullins, but for those of you that are unaware, the annual scholarship endowment reception is truly a thank you to donors that make the scholarships possible for all of the student athletes here at the University of Oregon. And there's always a couple featured speakers. Nia Hewitt from acrobatics and tumbling, and then Poncho Lalulu from Oregon football will be the presenting speakers here from the student-athlete perspective tonight. I'm really excited to hear what they have to say. It's always heartwarming just to see the student-athletes talking with the people that make, frankly, that the finances work. We all know that that's a huge part of this, and the scholarship just means so much to all these student-athletes. Poncho Lalulu, one that will tell us all about that tonight. And you'll hear why he's going to be such a great speaker just based on what he said to the media, meaning after spring practice this week, Poncho Lalulu talking offense and more.
Poncho, you were one of those guys, we're talking to Matteo today too, who, had the opportunity to go to the next level, but chose to come back to Oregon. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, the factors that went into that decision for you.
Yeah, before I get in, just want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But I think a big factor for that really was my faith and just understanding, to know that I still got some more things to do back here in Eugene. Obviously, like you said, me, Matteo, all the other guys could have left, but we feel like there's still some more on the table left here in Eugene.
New offensive coordinator. You guys have known Drew for a long time, but just what's the vibe like with him there? How's he doing so far?
Man, that guy ain't new. That's been with that guy from the beginning since I got here. So, really just nothing new. I just love the energy that he brings every single day. I'm just excited to see where we're going to go with him as the OC and just go.
What have you seen so far from Michael Bennett?
Man, I think one thing I like about Mikey, he's eager to learn. He's very smart. You can tell where he came from a program where he talks to me all the time where he's kind of making the calls. But I told him now you got a center who really locks in with all the calls and stuff. You got guys. Like when you come to Oregon, you play football, offensive line specifically over here at the University of Oregon, you're going to learn. Like we're going to try to know everything so you're not there by yourself trying to figure it out. So I know he's appreciative of that, but he's very smart, very physical in the run game. I'm very excited to see how he gets down in the run game.
Dan called the offensive line a brotherhood. You've mentioned that multiple times and you're here. New guys in the lineup, new players to the program. How does that process start of developing the chemistry, developing the cohesiveness for spring football so you guys are ready in the fall? How do you do that right now?
I mean, it really starts back in the winter, like from the moment they step on campus and just trying to get to know them really on a personal level. And just doing things not only just on the field, but off the field. We like to do things called like Get Real, where we come get together, guys that are normally in your position group, and we just meet each other, and then we go on from there, and then we do things outside of, like we go meet at Coach Lanning's house, we have dinner, or we're gonna meet up at like putters, we're gonna play putters, bowling, all those type of things that doesn't really involve the game of football, but just being in each other's company and fellowshipping is probably the biggest thing.
More on that question, I mean, you've seen a lot of different iterations of offensive line, but you've been one of the constants through that. What have you learned through your time as that constant that has kind of helped get you guys success each year, get you in that Joe Moore Award conversation? What have you learned through that process?
Everything is just that nitty gritty, just understanding like every single day, like you said, I've been here for like the past 4 years and just getting used to like different groups as the time go by. I think really it's just for me just to step up and just like kind of be that dude in that void to like fill that gap and connect for the guys, get those guys that's incoming, whether they're freshmen, transfer, try to get them on board, and other guys that are involved in that too. You got like Kavika Rogers, Dave Yulee, all those other guys who's been here as well, just trying to connect with all those guys on another level, and just, obviously we want to get to Joe Moore, so it just starts from right now.
The amount of experience that returns on defense with Matteo and Tatum, is that going to challenge the offensive line this spring and in turn make both of those groups stronger heading into the fall?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, really, this game of football don't start without the trenches. That's all it is. Like, if you ain't got no line, there's no game of football. You're just basically playing 7-on-7. So really just being able to have those guys come back and trying to sharpen these new guys that's coming in, like Mikey and Veeks and all those other dudes, just really just help us prepare for the season. So like spring ball is going to be a good taste to see what these guys got and what you guys are going to see later on.
How has Dylan Raiola fit in, and what's sort of the relationship you guys have built so far?
Yeah, I mean, that guy, obviously, he's from Hawaii, but he's raised in Georgia and stuff. And him coming in, it was easy because he's from Hawaii, and just understanding where he come and his background and his father, one of the best centers to do it, Remington Winter, Dominic Raiola. So him coming in, just connecting off the bat, just inviting him to things that we do with our families outside the game of football, and just keeping him, company, and letting him know, like, you got a family over here, you don't have to be all by yourself.
What are the things you and Dante are going to be working on to improve upon that connection that you guys had last year? It was already a high level, but came back. You obviously want to improve. What's that next step you and Dante need to take together? I think we need to step into that uncomfortableness. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you stay in comfortable situations, you stay in comfortable circumstances, you're not going to get better. You got to be challenged every single day. I think that's one thing that's good with Coach Lanning. He doesn't just call out the younger dudes. He calls us out, the older dudes, especially because we set the standard, and we need to show the standard for the incoming dudes and dudes who are coming in from different programs. So me and Dante need to really step into that leadership, that hole right there, and just try to be able to just hold ourselves accountable and hold others accountable, and just to lead by example.
Where have you seen Dante step up this offseason, going into his second year as a starter? What have you seen from him so far this offseason?
Yeah, he's been more vocal. Obviously, that's one of the biggest things. And just seeing when your QB is like vocal out there, like, just calling the shots and making sure everybody's upholding the standards is probably one of the biggest things. So Dante, he's growing every single day, and I love that, man.
A lot has been made about the culture being a major strength for Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, over your years, have been through some tough losses in the postseason. How do you feel like those moments are going to strengthen that culture and allow for this year to be different?
Yeah, I mean, you say, it's a loss, but for me and the guys who's been part of those, those losses, for me, it's just really a learning. It's a lesson for me. You just got to learn and go back and watch film, see what we did wrong and what we did good, and learn from that situation. You're not going to grow if you can't learn from those situations. So just going back, watching film, and just gathering the guys, like, hey, where did we fall short? And what things probably played into that role, whether it was on the field or off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, people might not know, but off the field plays pretty big when it comes to the team. Like, you can't connect on the field if you're not doing anything off the field. So just whatever it takes,
Coach Lanning said you guys put the pads on today and things got pretty lively. He described sort of what it was like. You guys hit each other and smack each other.
It was awesome. Woo, year 4 doing this, I guess, just being able to have fun and just enjoy, just being thankful, just having an opportunity just to be able to wake up and just play the game that I love and to do it with the guys who have been with for a minute now and just grinding, from the winter. So just being able to go out there and see like the young dudes. You got Kaloi, from Hawaii, from same hometown as me. You got Tommy Tofi, and you got all the other freshmen. Just seeing them fly around and just seeing them smile and just having that love that they have for this game, and but now just really putting on a professional level, like understanding, like, you're no longer in high school. You're no longer the big dog. When you come here to Oregon, you're going to face a lot of big, some of the best out of the best. So just seeing that just, gives me the joy every single time.
With this being your fourth round of spring ball, just what's different about you 4 years as an Oregonian versus like when you first moved here? Like, is there anything that would surprise you that you enjoy or do now that maybe when you first got here, you're like, nah, there's no way?
Obviously, coming from Hawaii, you don't like the cold. I like to tell everybody I'm from Eugene. I love it. You can't beat the cold, the hot. Whenever I go back home, I'm like, man, I can't stand it. Let me get back on the plane and go back to Eugene. But I think I just love the way Eugene and the people of Oregon is, just how much they pour into our program. Like, really, without y'all and the people that are out there just continue just supporting us and showing that love every single day, you guys play a big part in our game. So if y'all not there, then, we don't know how this program would be. So, just being really thankful, and I love Oregon. I like the way you said we're going in. Go Irish.
You mentioned some of the freshmen. I want to ask you about Tofi. There's been some buzz about him this offseason. Obviously, massive kid. What have you seen from him so far, and just kind of his growing and developing now that he's here?
Yeah, man, Tommy, he massive, man. That boy is big. I remember he stays at Doug's house and a couple of our houses sometimes. So when I remember just recruiting him, man, you're a big kid. You make me look small. One thing that really flashes out with me with Tommy is just the way he plays. His technique is awesome. He comes in, obviously, he got some work to do with his body, but when he gets that going, I know for sure Tommy's gonna be an awesome player, an elite player over here at the University of Oregon.
Iapani Poncho Lalulu meeting with the media, giving us the breakdown on where Oregon is in spring practice. A lot of great stuff from Poncho, as usual. He told me once in the Country Financial studio that he just really enjoys chit-chat. Love it. Absolutely love it. Next up, Matteo Uangal, a senior leader on that defensive side when we return, continuing to talk some football on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Friday, Toyota says let's put good times in gear with the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner. Want some cool available features? We've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. He's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Stock Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon football spring practice continues. Ducks are back on the practice field tomorrow. We heard from Poncho Lalulu, a returner, leader on the offensive side. Now to the defensive side. Matteo Uiagalelei met with the media. Some of his thoughts on, I think you'll really like what he had to say about some of the young guys.
When we last talked, you were still undecided about coming back or not. What was that decision-making process like for you, and what ultimately led you to come back for 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it was a tough decision, but it just came down to like where I wanted to be at. As far as like, at the end of the season, like it wasn't the way I wanted it to end, and then I feel like there's so much more on the table for me here. So that's really all it was.
Obviously, a tough process to think through something like that. How much did you lean on somebody like your dad and other family members to talk about the options?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to both of my parents a little bit. Definitely talked to my brother a lot. Prayed about it and just talked to, kind of everybody I knew, but especially like my brother and my parents a little bit.
How much did you talk to to the other three defensive linemen? Was there a decision made together to all come back together, or had Tatum left, would you have left, or vice versa? Or
we would talk about it, but it's everybody's individual process. I feel like when it comes to deciding whether to stay or go, it's cool y'all came back. I'm hella excited for that, but the process, I think we would talk, but it was really. I'm pretty sure Mari made his decision because of him, and Bear because of his circumstance, and then Tatum, I'm pretty sure everybody kind of individually made their decisions.
Kind of building off of that, when you head into another spring with a room with a lot of experience, I feel like last year it was getting everyone up to speed, but how has it kind of felt this year with the amount of experience and success that you guys have had and being able to build off that this spring?
Yeah. It's been really helpful. Like you said, having guys, everybody that came in that was playing last year on the front, is here. Not every, people left, but I think it helps with the young guys that come too. Like they see what the standard's supposed to look like, and I don't know. In my opinion, like this freshman class, I feel like it's one of the most they just pick up fast on everything, like all positions. So I'm excited to see who's really going to stand out for this freshman class. But I think just that leadership and, having a standard that everybody already knows what it is, and we keep elevating it.
Dan talked about goals that you have for yourself. I'm just curious, where do you think you can get better? Where can you continue to improve going into this last year?
Yeah, my off-season goals, like body composition type, I want to be around like 265, 260. Under like 18% body fat around there, and just keep getting bigger, faster, stronger, and then I think just finishing plays on the football side, being more physical in the run, and just a lot of plays that I left on the table, like missed tackles and a lot of opportunities I could have took advantage of, and I just didn't make the play. So whether that's +2 in the winter workouts, like. The way I finish every drill, has to look a certain way. And that's kind of the biggest things.
What weight you at now?
Right now I'm at 268. Yeah.
How can you guys as a group develop the pass rush to get back to where you were a couple years ago? And I understand you guys brought in Rip Rowan to help with that.
Yeah.
How has he helped so far?
Yeah. I feel like our pass rush on the edge, like me, Tatum, you got Nazir White out there. Even last year, I feel like we were really effective. But I don't know. I feel like if you look at the games, I feel like we were definitely chipped a lot. Had a lot of attention. And I think just finding ways to work around that is what's big this year. Of course, good pass rushers are going to get chipped, and people are going to run Max Pro and different things. But definitely bringing Rip Rowan, just a different perspective, schematically, also just individually. Like one-on-one technique and stuff. And I think you bring the inside guys back for another year, Mari and Bear, and you got Matt Johnson, you got Aiden Breland, who can all rush the passer. and just growing more as a whole group. I think it's gonna get scary this year.
For you and those other guys who did come back, how much of a motivation is it that, you know, these last couple of years you guys have been getting closer and, you know, have wanting to climb that mountaintop?
Yeah. Can you say that one more time? My bad.
Yeah, each year, the last 2 years, you guys have gotten closer in the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how much of that motivates you and others to you know, put together this experienced of a team?
Yeah, no, it's definitely you know, it's definitely something to look at, and it's like, man, we're getting closer. But at the same time, just because we're getting closer, that don't mean we're gonna get closer this year. It's not like handed to us. But I just think the culture. I think that just comes from the culture that's keeps on improving, keeps on being established here with Coach Lannon, and you know, like we got coaches that left and coaches coming in. But I feel like every year, no matter what, you always gonna see this just the culture of our team just be more and more present. You can see it how we play. So I don't know. I'm definitely excited. You know, I'm not really thinking about the last couple of years, but you know, I do. You know, that is a goal. That is like the main goal. You want to win it all. So, yeah.
What have been your impression so far of transfer offensive lineman Michael Bennett? Have you faced him?
Mm-hmm.
And how's he look to you?
Yeah.
Scouting report.
Yeah, no, I think he looks pretty good. You know, he's a smart guy. He came from Yale. You know, I don't know a few people who came from Yale. That's a really smart school, but you know, he's smart, physical. It's only his first day of pads today. You know, I feel like even though it's a third day, I see him communicating out there. You know, showing leadership. I think he's gonna be good.
New defense coordinator. Obviously, you've known Chris Hampton for a while. You guys have had it in there, but just your impressions of him taking over in that new role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Coach Hamp. I love his fieriness. You know, he's never gonna sugarcoat anything to you, and I think he really believes in his players. You know, I think that's the biggest part that I like about him. He's gonna try and put you in the best position to make plays and for us to win. So, I mean, you got a coach that you can trust. That's really all you can ask for.
At this time of the year, when you've had like the true freshmen enroll, you've lost people to transfer portal, you've brought in people from transfer portal.
Mm.
How long does it take you before you think you know everybody on the team's name, or just are you ever surprised at like what the roster looks like just because there's so much movement?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely a lot of changes going on. I mean, I'd say like since there's no more spring portal, like everybody who's here now, well, there's still freshmen coming in the summer, but like I'd say, I mean, once we hit summer, I mean, everybody who's here right now, like once we go through the spring ball together, I think everybody gonna know everybody. And everybody kind of hangs out with the team like outside of the building too. So like I remember the first day Prince came in here from Lincoln, from San Diego Edge. We just went straight to Tatum's house. It was like me, Tatum, and Dutch, some of the other guys, and we're just connecting. Like this is the first time out here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a program is really connected.
He's a leader. He's a reason for that connection in Matteo Uangal. He and Poncho Lalulu, big reason that Oregon looks to have some success here coming up in the fall. Timeout. When we return, Jess Drummond, Oregon lacrosse head coach, is going to join us. Stick around on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say yeah.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Let's just get this out of the way right now. It is April Fool's Day. We know it. We've talked about it. We've got more coming on that front. Jess Drummond, Oregon lacrosse head coach, is here. Woo! I had a feeling that Jess Drummond would be one that embraces. What is a holiday? Is it a holiday? It's a
I
holiday.
call it a holiday.
It's
Like
a holiday.
I have a former player that we treat this as a holiday. You count down to it. You get excited about it. You celebrate it. You do something fun that's within the community. Holiday.
It's a holiday.
Yep.
You're someone that embraces it.
Yep.
Best April Fool's prank that you have had done to you and that you have done.
Okay, best one to me. This
Okay.
one was really funny. So when I was at Vermont, there's this Hall of Fame room.
Okay.
And we would have our meetings there because that was just the meeting space for all sports. And it's just a bunch of old, like, photos of people who have come through the programs.
Right,
A lot
sure.
of men, like, because UVM was before, whatever. Anyways, and so our players always joke, like, man, we need some more women up here. And so April Fools, we come down, and we had no idea, but our faces were put in all of the frames around the room.
Yes.
And so
Those
that
are
was
some
really
nice frames, I bet.
Really, yeah.
In the Hall of Fame room, like
Yeah.
that's the best.
It was
headshot
hilarious.
you're
Yeah,
ever gonna have.
yeah, so funny.
Okay,
so
that's good.
It was really good, and they're black and white photos.
How
so
long did it take you to realize?
A while. Like we had our whole meeting, and everyone's just like giggling, and we're like, "What is happening?" And then I was looking at the head coach Sarah, and I just saw her face right behind her head, and I was like, "Oh my god."
That's awesome.
They put it
That's a good
behind
one.
where we all sit in the room too. So it was a really good one. And then been a part of, same player. She was like, we need to do something. This was our first year, and I was like, we love pranks. Like, this is our vibe. And so we collabed, and so we secretly told.
We collabed. I love it.
Yeah, like
I
each
love it.
class, like, hey, nobody knows that you're gonna do this, but when the word chicken is said out loud, like, you're gonna just get shaving cream and spray it at everybody. And so each class thought they were in on the prank. And so then everybody, when I said the word, like everybody ran and everyone's like, wait, why is everybody running? Why is this happening? And then we just sat back like, it worked.
Have you seen your team today?
No.
Oh,
But they know I
boy.
like this stuff. Like, and so I'm like, what are they going to do? Yeah.
Is this like you hope they do something?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
I mean, did I tell you that they wore wigs to pregame meal and the president showed up? And they were like, do we do this? And then Carl loved it. I was like, yeah, vibes are high. This is great.
Was just the guest coach, Carl Schultz, a
yeah.
couple weeks ago, right?
Yep. Yeah, so that was really funny. They're like, do we still do this because the president's coming? And Cece was in on it, and she's like, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, he needs to see that this is our culture.
So
Yeah.
you don't know that your staff hasn't already like been in on something?
No,
Like, you could be
no,
totally
they
in the
know
dark right now?
I love surprises. I love to be surprised. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is going to be a good follow-up. Maybe you want to follow Oregon's Oregon lacrosse on
Yeah,
social
what
media
happens? I know.
today.
Maybe I regret
I don't know. Let's find
Maybe-
out together. We'll all maybe find out together. Jess Drummond, hey, back from a spring break trip,
Yes.
but review the trip for us. What'd you all do?
Great. We did a ton of stuff. You know, I love that we have the opportunity with Women in Flight to do fun things. We went and played laser tag. We went to an arcade, and they played dodgeball, and it was heated competition. So fun. And then we went to the first televised women's professional hockey game, which was awesome. We made a bunch of signs. We got featured on their Instagram. Yeah, so awesome.
That had to be a really cool
So cool.
deal.
Yeah, it was packed, and it was at the Red Wing Stadium. I don't know.
Yeah,
Arena.
yeah,
Arena. My bad. Yeah, forgot it's not a stadium. Arena.
Stadium.
Yeah,
field.
and it was so cool. I've never been into something like that. I've only been to like college when I was at Dartmouth in Vermont, and it's cold in there. But this was like a full production.
Yeah.
Like so sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked before about like the growth of different sports, women's sports
Yeah.
in particular. There's a great example
Yes,
to show
exactly,
your team.
exactly.
That's pretty cool. Okay, who was the best at laser tag?
I think. Oh gosh, good question.
Like tactically, who was the best
Yeah,
at
that's a
laser
good
tag?
one. I know. I don't know. Gabby Jackson got sharpshooter. And then
Okay.
once I found out, because I wasn't in it because they were playing against each other and it needed to be an even amount. And so I was like, I'll take one.
Wait,
I'll
did you
watch
coach?
it.
Did you coach?
No, I
from the
didn't
side?
know. I just
Are
was
you
watching
sure?
from the window. Like, this is
Go
this
that
tracks.
way.
Yeah.
Go that way.
yeah. And then
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, but then everyone told me Gabby Jackson didn't move. She just stayed in one spot, sniping
Well, that's
everybody.
smart.
And that's what I said. I was like, so she never got out.
See, good tactics.
Yes, good tactics.
Good
and then there was this big punching bag. You know how you like have to hit it as hard as possible?
Right.
And they were surprised with how hard I could hit it. Only
I'm
one
not
player got
surprised
higher.
at
That's what I was like, yeah, you don't know me that, but I hit it really hard. Only one player could beat me, Lily Fortin, and she broke the high score there. So that was really cool.
And you were, of course, the high score. You broke all the other high scores.
Yeah,
and
like
she broke
I was.
yours?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was very fun.
What a trip.
So fun.
Team bonding.
So much.
Team bonding.
They love each other.
You know, the scholarship dinner is coming up tonight. I wanted to ask you about that, but first on the Women in Flight specific front.
Yes.
I know that holds a special place in your heart for a lot of different reasons, but to give fans some context on like the ability that you have to go do things like going
totally.
to professional hockey,
Totally.
all those things.
Yeah, and it's all funded from Women in Flight. We're so grateful. And when I was talking to the Ohio State coaches and Michigan coaches, they're like, man, you guys get to do so many fun things on the road. And I'm like, yeah, we do. We take advantage of it. You know, when we're going to Penn State, we're going to have, that's when our trivia night is going to be. We're going to do a professional development networking panel. Like we're just maximized when they're on the road to take advantage of these opportunities when we're all together.
Any further updates on the amount of like lacrosse specific trivia?
No, I'll report back. Sorry. I forgot.
It's all right.
I definitely forgot.
It's cool. There's going to be a couple that you will be the answer to.
I don't think so, but
I do.
Okay.
You're still all over the record book.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
There's two Drummonds, remember? There's two of us.
Yeah, and it says comma, right? You know?
Jana, Jess.
Exactly. No, it's not just comma J. It's either
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's a two-letter. Like we get it, but
We get it.
I mean it though. Like there is such a growth with this sport. We've talked
Yes.
before about building the program, going on trips like this. Like you hear from a number 25 Ohio State, number 6 Michigan, right? Like
Yeah.
I realize you want to win every one of these games. Also, that's the competition level as you continue to build the program, right?
Totally. It's been so awesome to play these highly ranked teams. Like we can come out of that game and be like, man, we did that against a top 10 team, top 5 team. I think Michigan just got bumped to 3 and Maryland's number 1 now. So we're like, these are teams. I'm like, you got to think back. Like we scored 7 goals against the number 1 team in the country. Like that's awesome. And that's something that I really love about this team is that the belief is always there. We're a bunch of Ted Lasso fans, so I'm like, I love that. Believe.
There is
Yeah.
a Believe poster on.
There is.
There's like multiple Believe posters around
Yeah.
your dwellings, I suppose.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I get it. I mean,
I know you got vibes have to be high. You got to still believe. You got to be, in it to win it, and know that it's going to be a long game. Like teams don't just start winning first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years right away. Like it takes time to build a legacy. So.
Well, you talk about building a legacy, and it sounds like the team is still in positive spirits.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to lose
Yeah.
again, but
Yeah.
you have to stay positive.
Totally. Yep. And we had a super fun dance circle at Ohio State. It went semi-viral. The girls say it's viral, and
What
I'm
does
like,
that mean?
that's what I said.
What does
They're like,
viral mean?
it got more views than your Nike thing that you did last year for Girls in Sports Day. And I was like, okay, like how many views does that have? I'm not tracking that.
Was that viral? I don't know.
That's what I
is
said.
Viral?
They're like, no, that went viral, and I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so we had. Are you googling what is viral?
100%. I'm gonna say what's the definition.
Yeah. So then I had an announcer that I was interviewing for the Big Ten for Michigan game, and she's a former Michigan player, and she was just talking about how much she values our team and how awesome it is to see the camaraderie, the celebration, the championship of each other, and how she saw that dance video and said it was so awesome. So I'm like, yeah, that's our team. We believe in each other. We have the values right there.
Did it get to 1 million to 5 million views within a few days?
No.
Apparently, so you can go back to your team and you can say semi-viral that, as you put it, is accurate. Because according to this, viral refers to content, videos, images, or posts that spread rapidly and widely across the internet, usually through social media sharing. While there is no official number, generally, content is considered viral when it reaches 1 million to 5 million views within a few days. Though for smaller creators, 100,000 plus views can signify.
Do we count as a small creator?
I don't know. I don't think so. Also,
we are the Ducks.
Is it virality? It says can signify virality? Virality?
Unclear. Not sure.
I don't know how to pronounce that. It's got to be like virality, right? Contextually, I don't know. The point is, it went viral. It went
semi-viral.
Or semi-viral.
We're going to say semi,
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so
but that's cool.
It
so
is
the
cool.
vibes are high.
Yeah, super high.
I did want to ask you about the scholarship dinner tonight before we talk about what's ahead with Oregon Lacrosse head coach Jess Drummond. This is an event that comes around the spring every year where student athletes and donors that make the scholarships at the University of Oregon, in the University of Oregon Athletic Department, possible. And I got to say, like, as a non-student athlete, there were events like this that I attended, and as a student didn't even realize the impact of them. I attended some of these in the journalism school and met the people that made scholarships that I was the beneficiary of possible. This is what this event celebrates, and I know it holds a special place in your heart.
It does, and I was privileged enough to be able to be invited to these as a student athlete, and the same donors are still there giving scholarships for lacrosse athletes. So I just love that it's so full circle, and they were so thrilled when I came back and so thrilled that I see them at these events that, it means a lot to lacrosse. Like, we are not an NIL program. We're not a sport that gets a lot of money and revenue with that, and so these scholarships mean so much to a program like us.
You talk about building and getting the right student athletes into the program, right? And here we are, where this is a great thank you to all those people that make this possible. Final thoughts. It doesn't get any easier because number 9, Johns Hopkins, is at Pape Field coming up on Saturday at noon. It's on Big Plus. What do you want to see from your team? Give us a little bit of the scout on Johns Hopkins.
I know we talk about confidence, but for me, I just want to see us get better than the last 2 games. Like, get some more points on the board, finish and execute some more plays, and just work towards getting better. Like, that's my goal.
Jess Drummond, the Oregon Lacrosse head coach. We'll see what happens to her over the course of the rest of April 1st.
I know. Now I'm sweating.
Are you
I'm
like
sweating
genuinely?
a little bit.
Okay. I didn't mean for that to be the case.
No, same. But I love this. I love this.
So you like the anticipation?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do?
And
honestly, if they don't do anything, I'm gonna be so let down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like I really set it up.
I set it up for them. I'm like, April Fool's is coming up. What's going on?
So you did tell them?
Of course. Like they know. Like they know, and they knew about like Vermont and how it was so big. Like, there's always somebody doing something. Yeah. Okay, bar is set. We'll shall see.
When's practice?
1:30ish.
Headed there right now to Pape
Yep.
Field. I wish you luck.
Thanks so much.
Jess Drummond, Oregon Lacrosse head coach, at Pape Field, defending Pape, noon against Johns Hopkins on Saturday. Timeout. We'll have some more fun with April Fools. Talk a little baseball as the Ducks hit the road to Michigan. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Woohoo!
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby.
It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm watching the TV in the studio because Kiara Romero is still in action at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Best of luck to her and the 3 other current/future Ducks that are in action at the premier women's golf amateur event of every year, honestly. Meanwhile, I did make a run across the hall to ask what the experts behind Go Ducks would consider viral, and they agreed with the definition that I provided. And so they said that absolutely that would be considered a viral video. Virality, by the way. That's what the experts told me, is virality. They said they don't really use that word, though, which kind of made me feel better. But virality is apparently the proper pronunciation. Oregon baseball last night, a true pitching duel, to say the least, ended up 3-0 in favor of Portland. It was 1-0 going into the late innings. Truly a great game. And I tip my cap to Portland, who staffed a great game on the mound. Miles Gostola, the reigning Big Ten pitcher of the week, one of the toughest luck losses you're going to see. He gives up 1 run with over 5 innings of work, and it was just a solo home run that Brady Bean put a good swing on. Tough loss for Oregon, still sitting at 22-6, and overall, you're never going to be happy with a loss. Mark Wasikowski is the first to tell you that. But now the Ducks do have to turn the page quickly because they're playing at Michigan tomorrow. Waz postgame last night following the loss.
9 games in 12 days for you guys. Can any of that be chalked up to fatigue? Or?
No. I mean, that's baseball right there. I mean, there are no excuses. I mean, both teams squared 7 balls up today. You know, they walked more of us than we walked to them. We struck out more of their guys than they struck out on our guys. We both hit 7 line drives, and their line drives went over the fence today in 2 swings, and ours didn't. You know, it was I think a fairly clean game. I don't think there were any errors in the game, but you know, that's baseball. You line out and you hit them where the guys are standing versus where the guys aren't standing, and they did a better job of that tonight than we did. There's a reason why they've, you know, in the last 16 games they're 14-2, and now they're 15-2 in their last 17 games. They're playing good baseball. It's a good team.
You guys are struggling with left-handed pitching, and they sent out 3 left-handed pitchers today. Just what can you guys do better to kind of just end that trend?
Well, I mean, get back to work first thing in the morning tomorrow before we get on a road trip to Michigan and try to address anything that we see as negatives and try to improve upon it.
What do you want to see from your lineup when hits just aren't getting through like that, and how did they live up to that today?
Well, I mean, you're looking for a clutch hit. We had the table set a couple of times. You know, we had a bases loaded 1-out situation. We didn't come through. We had first and second situations. We didn't come through. You know, it was one of those games, right? And so when it's I was really happy with the way the ball came out of Miles Costola's hand today. I thought he did a really good job. He kept us right there the entire time. He continues to throw the ball well. It's nice to see Featherston back out on the mound again. But still, yeah, you know, we didn't do enough to win today.
Gostola started the season with lower pitch counts in a different role. What have you seen from him now that he's stretched out, and like how has he built up to this?
He was built up to be a starter at the beginning of the year. He just, you know, we did start him a little bit at the beginning of the year, but then he didn't have a great start, and so he was back in the bullpen, and then we started him obviously last week. He was the pitcher of the week. He pitched really well again tonight. I just think he was working really hard at his delivery and getting consistent with it and landing his pitches, and he's doing a great job of that now.
Why was it Featherston only got 1 inning today?
Because that was the plan for him today, is to get back and get back on the mound to where he can start building himself back up again.
It was. I know maybe he didn't show it today, but I'm working on a story on Angel.
Mhm.
What has just led to the start that he's had as a freshman coming in and being able to contribute like he has?
He's a great kid. He didn't have a great day today, but still he's had a very good season up to this point. We're one game past the halfway point now, and he's played very well. He's an advanced hitter. And yeah, he's going to need to get the feel of this college thing too. It doesn't stop. It's not quite a 162 game major league season or something like that. But still, it's new. It's not 2 high school games a week either. And
Right.
so this is this is an interesting for all the freshmen, any freshmen or new guys, really. This is a brand new world for a lot of those guys, and so they'll start getting more and more seasoned on how the season goes. But Angel's a special talent. He's a really good player. We're lucky to have him.
A lot of his teammates have said he just brings a really mature approach to the
Yeah.
plate every single time. What does that mean for maybe a casual fan? What does his maturity show?
I think it just seems like he has a slow heartbeat up there. It doesn't look like any moment gets too big for him. He's not always successful every at-bat that he has, but he gives himself a chance to be successful every at-bat that he has. So, I don't know. I think he's been taught well by his father, to be honest with you. I think his dad's had a big part of his development, because I know he's been hands-on with Angel his whole life, like really hands-on with his swing and his baseball.
When did you know, was it in recruit that he could be a day one starter for you? Was it during recruitment where or was it in the fall? Was it right before?
Yeah, good question. We knew that he was super talented. To be a starter, and that's an earned thing, so they got to show it, and they got to show it, and they got to show it, and that's what he's done to earn that.
What can we expect out of Michigan, and how will you guys adapt to the longest road trip you guys have had this season?
We'll see. We're going to start that series a day early, I guess, because of weather problems or potential weather problems. But that's what you get. You get that in the Midwest this time of year. It's springtime in the Midwest, and it can be a little chaotic out there. And so you got to deal with some weather and some challenges. But so do other teams that travel east. And so I guess tighten your belt and let's get it done on the road. That's really the message.
Does starting the series a day early affect your prep for the week?
No, we still were on the same flight leaving on tomorrow morning anyways, so no, not really. It would eliminate one practice day when we get out there, because you're not able to unless you're chartering or something like that, you're not able to get out all the way to the East Coast to where you can still practice. So we'll practice here first, and then get on the plane and fly out there and get in probably pretty late on Wednesday night.
Changes the schedule a little bit, as Waz was just talking post-game there. Due to expected weather conditions in Ann Arbor, that Michigan series that was originally set for Friday through Sunday now will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. Single games each day scheduled. I do want to say, though, there could still be some changes. You never know with the weather. It's baseball, right? Game 1 will be Thursday at noon Pacific time, Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time for Oregon baseball at Michigan. Ryan Milano's on the road with the Ducks. We've got a pregame show 15 minutes before first pitch for all 3 of these games in Ann Arbor. That'll be 11:45, 12:45, and 8:45 Pacific time for Oregon baseball pregame on the air from Ann Arbor. Quick timeout. When we come back, Oregon volleyball with an announcement, and acrobatics and tumbling featuring some pretty standout performances. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon volleyball team will host Oregon State on Friday, April 24th at Matteo Knight Arena. Part of the spring schedule, first serve set for 6 p.m. Home spring match is free and open to the public as the Ducks welcome back 10 returners from last year's team, the first under Trent Kirsten that went 17-13. They were right there on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. Oregon volleyball hosting Oregon State on Friday, April 24th. Oregon acrobatics and tumbling team, senior base Blessed McMorris, once again the athlete of the week across the NCATA. The second time this season, helped the Ducks to a decisive win over Hawaii Pacific last week. And then Morgan Willingham, the specialist of the week, honorable mention from acrobatics and tumbling. The Ducks preparing for a Monday night showdown with Baylor, number 1 versus number 2 at Matteo Knight Arena. It is, of course, April Fool's Day. Once upon a time, Jeremiah Masoli was going to pitch for the M's. There was glow-in-the-dark uniforms. And you remember in 2016, the Oregon Athletic Department, put out some images of an LED field. That's right, an LED field at Autzen Stadium. Had renderings, a great website, Oregon logos on the field. And you know what? In 2016, everyone was like, ha, what a funny joke. An LED field? That, no way. You could never play anything on anything LED. Well, Oregon being the innovator that, of course, this institution is, now we have LED courts in conference basketball tournaments. We're only 10 years removed from Oregon joking about this for LED football fields. And today the University of Oregon even had a little bit of fun with like a 15-story tall O in the middle of campus that would be like the tallest thing in Eugene. Personally, I kind of like April Fool's Day. Oregon baseball on the air tomorrow with that series moving up. See you Monday.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful.